Good evening. Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio. Thank you for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park, Verizon 32 in Bethel Park, all the way from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between. We appreciate you. We're also on Facebook. We've been hitting new highs. We're at a level we've never been, 6,920 likes. So we're inching up to 7,000. I'm proud that this old dog learned a few tricks. I can see who's liking the show, like our show. Come on. We got a great studio here today. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Chip Painter's here. Smoking Jim Frazier. I'm honored that he made it all the way from Monroeville or from one of his sweetie's houses in the tri-state area. He's here. And then he's wearing a polo I got for him about 3 or 4 years ago. And I'm a betting man on clothes and different things. I was betting they did not fit anymore, and it fits him like a glove. So I'm even more honored by that. And doesn't he look good in red?
Didn't you get him from Abdullah the tent maker?
No. I got it from my person, and then I found out he was a 4X. And the last year I got him one, I said, "Are you 4X?" He goes, "Machine, 5. 5X, baby." I've had friends out there that like giving me shirts and jerseys and stuff. And I go, "I'm an X, 1X. And they go, "Will this fit Smoking Jim?" And they hold it up to me, and I go, "No." I go, "Look, this is me. This is him."
No, what you do is you hold it up and you say, "This is too much information."
Then they always tell me, "Well, can I give him one?" I go, "He's just going to give it to one of Jimmy's sweeties." And they love him for that. But we got Connor on camera. We got Nick from KO doing audio and sound with Anthony running the whole show. So we appreciate this. If we sound good or we don't sound loud enough, just give me a text, 412-973-9611. I'll give my number out. I'll delete anybody that's harassing me, but you can tell me that you can't hear me. So we'll go from there. We got some sports to talk to you and all these things going on. And I don't know if we'll talk about Steelers, but that should be on everybody's mind. All right, first one up, Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Look at Connor on camera. I don't even have to say the number, 412-831-1900, Hillcrest Shopping Center, right there. Be careful tonight going out there. Our Pittsburgh weather struck. It held out so well, but our first day of snow, at least we have it here in Bethel Park and the surrounding area. Monroeville, according to Smoking Jim, hasn't seen a flake. And I have friends that live there, and they go, "Hey, Al, we got snow like you."
Sunny and 80 degrees.
Next up, Bethel Park Historical Society Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, 2600 South Park Road, 1905 schoolhouse, brand new windows, new roof, refurbished inside. They rent it out. They have different events. They got a great library there, old yearbooks from Bethel Park throughout history here. Great place, military uniforms and everything. And my favorite tea shop, it's a coffee shop, Reginald's Coffee. And they're great. They're open up each day, and I think they're letting people come in now. And they have Wi-Fi. They have fresh roasted coffee every day, which I don't drink. I drink their loose leaf green tea, and it's very good. I've become a fan of theirs, so check them out. Next up, we end each show in honor of Joey Fabus. He died at 9 years old 6 years ago due to dreaded brain cancer named DIPG. It's a death sentence for all the kids that get it. They die within a year. The family created the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation. They've raised over $100,000 with events and other things they do in the community, and they've given it to the doctors to try to find a cure for this dreaded brain cancer. So donate some money. They're a nonprofit. You can write it off or your time. Next up, Dave Cable and I have a great bond here. He likes to make fun of me at times, so he put my face on Uncle Sam. Tell them Uncle Al, the talking machine, sent you to BPTV to be a volunteer like Connor, like Nick, like Anthony. And you could be here, call 412-831-3304. Tell Dave Cable, Al Levine said, we need you and want you to be here helping us out, so we can use your help. Thank you. Next up, Bethel Park Community Foundation will test Connor for the last time on this. Look at that pick. Perfect again. Thanks, Connor. Even though you were on hiatus with soccer and had a good season, we welcome you back in the studio. Thank you very much. Bethel Park Community Foundation, I'm a trustee. They have money for you. They've been around for 25 years. They've given out $1 million as of this year, and they help anybody in Bethel Park that's doing great things with their community. So they have money from $100 to $5,000. Get an app online. Our next meeting will be in January. I'll announce it and check out their website.
Can I come?
Smoking Jim, we still haven't found how you even make any money, but you somehow gamble $250 a day. And when the casino was closed for all those months, I asked one question. I said, what are you going to do with the $30,000 that you would have been betting? And his words were, I'm broke, machine. I'm broke. True story. Check back the film. Our other sponsor of What's on Your Mind is Skeet Service Station, and it's owned by Skeets Lewandowski, 6103 Route 88 in Finleyville, about 6 miles away from here, 724-348-4715. If your snow blower needs tuned up, they can handle it. Anything that runs on gas, and I mean anything and everything, they fix and they work on. I've been there the last few years and have seen it in person. They even have the lathe. They have a drive shaft company that they have, Pittsburgh Drive Shaft. They can fix your car from top to bottom, A to Z, your lawnmower, your weed whacker, your hedge trimmer, your boat, your tractor, you name it, they can work on it and fix it. Give them a call and tell them, Al Levine, the talking machine, said you can do work on my vehicle. So check it out. And we're going to start the show with What's on Your Mind, Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
coming at you.
You got to see Levine.
That was the fastball.
Well, if I was a white cornerback, brother, that's how I would do it. Interception, man.
No, you would have been a wide receiver because the defensive guys usually can't catch a ball.
Oh, man.
You know that.
Reverse discrimination in the NFL is alive and well.
Tony, if you're watching the show, the race card came out instantaneous.
But, hey, this morning I had another day off from work, so I slept in a little bit. I'm up watching Gilligan's Island at 7 o'clock this morning. I go into Facebook, and I see your green tee with about 5 inches of snow. So I put my snowman suit on. I don't own any gloves, so I put some socks on my hands, man. You know what I mean? Man, I threw my hat on. I grabbed the biggest shovel in my house, brother. I went racing out here, brother, in my pajama pants and boots, and there wasn't even a dusting.
Disclaimer. He is not an honest man. There's been reports of snow in Monroeville.
I'll tell you what, here in the South and up north in area, y'all really get hit hard, man. Soon as I came through the Liberty tunnels, man, snow everywhere. I said, oh, boy, I can't wait to get back to Monroeville. But, hey.
Yeah, thanks for that, Smoking Jim. We appreciate it.
I'm a man of my word. If I say what I mean and mean what I say. I asked at least 10 different white guys to bring me some pumpkin pie. All my relatives are black. So they only eat sweet potato pie. I just wanted a sliver, just a taste.
Hey,
0 for 10.
Smoking Jim, I got to apologize. I bought you a pumpkin pie piece and I forgot it because I had to clean my car off with snow again for the 4th time today, and it's at my house. If you follow me home to my house, I'll give you that slice, and it has whipped cream on the top.
Wow.
I have it for you. You heard on air. I didn't forget about you, brother. I got it at Eaton Park, and they go, "You sure you want whipped cream?" I go, "I have a friend, and I won't even mention his name, but he's never had pumpkin pie."
Never, ever.
And they go, "You know our pumpkin pie's good." I go, "I've eaten it every year."
Nick's been asking about it. Chip's been asking about it. Al Levine, the talking machine's been asking about it. So Corner's been asking about it. So I have to explain how Gateway got the name Gators.
Yeah.
When they first started the school, they was just going to have the Gator name for a year or two. But it was the same exact time that Gatorade was up and coming, and Gatorade got behind Gateway, and they named the Gatorade after Gateway. They was going to name it something else. And they said, "Wait a minute, can we name it Gatorade?" Gatorade's been going to the top, and Gateway's been going to the top ever since.
Named after it was by the who was it, the trainer, head trainer for the University of Florida.
Yes.
You let them tell you anything and you believe it. I got a bridge in New York to say it, brother. You believe anything. But what I'm telling you is the truth. But hey, Al Levine, the talking machine. I got into Bethel Park early.
Okay.
Went to Planet Fitness, and I got to give the Bethel Park boys credit. Some strong boys up there. But I go up there for the girls and the yoga pants. I tell you what, man, it's some good-looking girls and the free pizza. You can't beat it. But let me ask you a question. There was one black guy up there. He must have been from the patch. Light-skinned brother with blonde dreadlocks.
Yeah.
Nice, athletic build. Probably a little older because he had tattoos all over the place.
That doesn't mean anything.
Great thighs. But how come brothers can't grow no calves?
I don't know.
And then all the white guys in Planet Fitness, they don't wear masks. How come you guys don't wear your masks when you're out?
We do.
I don't know.
Huh? Is that a white thing?
No, we do.
But finally...
How come you can't keep your nose in yours?
I'm trying, brother. Brother's got a big nose, man. At least you ain't talking about our lips. But hey, finally, I said before, I thought the Harlem Globetrotters had the easiest schedule in the world.
Yeah.
You got to admit, there ought to be an investigation if the Steelers don't go undefeated. Now they're playing a team that got 15 starters that's out for this game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We'll talk about that on the Steelers
The whole
part.
bit.
Yeah.
The easiest schedule in the history of the NFL, the Pittsburgh Steelers, is going to catch up to them in the playoffs because they can't stop the pass and they ain't played against nobody that can throw the football. Al Levine, the talking machine. As soon as I leave here, I'm putting all the money I got.
No, get your slice of pumpkin.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
If you don't,
I'm going to get my pumpkin pie.
Get the pumpkin.
And I'm going to the casino and I'm putting it all on the Pittsburgh Steelers, brother.
Let me hold the $250, and I'll give it to you next week, and you'll have more money than you have then.
The kiss of death.
Yeah.
And that's what's on my mind.
Smoking Jim, you're on fire tonight. It was nice to hear all that. Do I believe it?
Go
No.
Gators.
No.
Gatorade.
The Gator story, Chip knows it, I know it, and it's just a myth and a legend by people like yourself in Gator country. But thank you, Smoking Jim. Chip Hayner, it's a tough one. You're going to be telling me something truthful, so what's on your mind?
What's on my mind? And you know, over the years, if anybody has followed our show, I have taken Roger Goodell to task on more than one occasion.
Yes.
Okay, and the lack of consistency to any kind of COVID policy that the NFL has just absolutely baffles me. You know, the interest in getting a game played outweighs everything. Health, safety, regardless. Now you got a team whose whole slew of quarterbacks We're not wearing masks. We're clowning and jagging around. So you forced the Denver Broncos to play a game that could have playoff implications.
Oh, yeah.
Without a starting quarterback, without a qualified starting quarterback. So here you basically handed the New Orleans Saints a win. Now, if you're somebody like, say, the Tampa Bay Bucks, who are in the process of choking, okay, with Tommy Boy, and Bruce Arians in the marriage that's not going to last.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, why aren't you having a fit about the fact that you handed the Saints a win?
Yeah.
You handed them a win, okay? But yet you're making the Steelers play the Baltimore Ravens when what the Baltimore Ravens are guilty of is far more egregious, far more people infected, but yet we're going to bend over backward because that crybaby Harbaugh, and yeah, there are two of them, one in the college, one in the pros, whined and complained, oh, I didn't get a chance to practice. Well, maybe if you'd have taken your head out of your butt and taken a look at what your coaches were doing and setting a great example for the rest of the team, and look at that, 30 infections. Okay.
Yeah.
So do the Ravens get punished for this? Oh, great! They're going to have 15 starters that can't start. Well, they got their starting backfield back.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson isn't going to be able to play. They've got RG Me, who beat the Steelers last December, if anybody remembers. But that's of course when we were straddled by an anchor called the Duck. Okay. So
Thanks,
anyhow,
Chip. Thanks.
Let's get back to the way the NFL is handling this whole COVID thing. I don't think it's right. Playing a game on a Wednesday and then having to play a game that's supposed to be played on Monday.
Yes.
I think this is a bunch of crap. Just pardon my language. 3 games in 12 days. I think what this is going to do is going to help to galvanize the Steelers. They're not going to cry. They're not going to make excuses. I believe they're going to go out and they're going to whip the tar out of the Baltimore Ravens tomorrow night. And I think the Washington football team is going to run into its freight train next Monday afternoon. But whoever heard of Wednesday afternoon NFL football?
I love it.
It hasn't been a Wednesday game in 72 years in the NFL. And I hope it's another 72 years before they do it again. But they need to get some consistency with these rules. And, what kind of fines, what kind of punishment is going to be meted out against the Baltimore Ravens? It should be harsh, and, we'll see what happens. But this is laughable, what's going on in the NFL right now. But that's what's on my mind.
Smoking, Jim.
Well, me personally, I think the NFL, I give them an A++. I'm hard on Roger Goodell again, but I think he's doing everything right. But the Steelers would be crying because the quarterback coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers tested positive for COVID, and there's a quarterback named Big Ben that shouldn't be allowed to play because he's been exposed to that quarterback coach.
No, he
but
hasn't.
If there's a bias for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they want him to go undefeated this year.
You're absolutely incorrect. You're absolutely incorrect.
Just like in 2001, the Patriots.
Stop and listen to me, okay? All of the meetings between the coaches and the players are being done virtually. Ben Roethlisberger is not in a room with Matt Canada.
Yes, he is.
No, he is not.
Yes, he is.
You're wrong.
Yes, he is.
You're wrong.
Yes, he is.
Okay, so here's the way it is. Ben is not in any risk because Ben's concerned about the health and well-being of his family. He's not going to allow himself to be put at risk. The Steelers are following the protocols. And even following the protocols, players are getting sick. But do you see any widespread infections? Do you see 30 members of the Pittsburgh Steelers organization?
Because it's fixed. Well, listen to me. Listen to me. The Vance McDonald, who Ben sat next to on the airplane in his locker is next to, did he come down with COVID? And Ben still was allowed to play.
No,
it's a fix.
Because he followed the COVID restrictions.
Don't talk to me about the Steelers when you're wearing a terrible towel. You're not biased.
No, I'm not biased at all, but I'm telling you what, I'm a lot closer to the truth than you are. At least I'm in the same zip code.
You keep telling me these little white lies.
So now you got to pull the
Smoking
race card on me again.
Smoking Jim.
You got to
Chip
pull
and
the
I,
race card on me again. Oh,
when we
geez.
first started up our shows, we talked about NHL, NBA, which you don't care. They had bubbles, and look at the success they had. Look at college, wanted to open up, they shut down, then they reopened, and look at the sickness and games that have been postponed.
How are you going to crown a national champion when you're not even going to have all, like, for
The games
example,
played.
Ohio State's
point.
undefeated, and they may not even be able to play for the Big Ten championship because they're not going to play enough games.
They may
'Cause
only
if
have
they
6
get one
games.
more game,
Yeah.
if they have one more game canceled, they're not going to be able to play enough games
Right.
because the Big Ten started their season so late. There is no room for them to play makeup games.
Good point.
So if a game gets canceled, there's no makeup.
And
And-
Chip makes a good point. We only care about the NFL.
No,
You're
no.
right, Chip.
Let me emphasize, you only care about the NFL. You are in a little bubble of your own, and it's called a knowledgeless bubble. Knowledgeless bubble.
Here's the problem with
thank you.
with doing a bubble for an entire season. Okay, and Bill Cowher spoke to this point on Sunday afternoon
You're the only one
about
that watches
isolating
that
the teams. You know, you only go into practice, back to the hotel,
Yeah.
traveling to play games. But when you got 32 teams you're trying to do that to, now, you know, you cut that number in half like you would for the playoffs.
Sure.
Then a bubble can become feasible.
Yeah.
But when it's got all 32 teams, how are you going to do that? Where are you going to find enough places for them to play? You know,
You can't.
You know, because like you can't play like a hockey game. You could play 3-4 games in a day on the same
Good
sheet of
point.
ice.
Good point.
If you're playing basketball, you could play 5 or 6 games on the same hardwood. Pro football,
Yeah.
no sir. You're going to tear that field up, and then the team that plays the next game is going to be.
It'll be at a loss.
The feet will
Yeah.
be ripped up.
Yeah.
You know,
Chip
they're not
is-
going to get a chance to
Chip
repair
is
it.
so right. They ought to go back
How
to
can you disagree
they ought
so
to-
much and agree with
They ought
them?
to go back to AstroTurf. I always said that.
No, how about light the fields on fire with oil
I love
and
it.
have the dirt fields?
I love
I
that.
played on a
I
couple
love
like
that.
that. Do that. Didn't that smell great afterwards?
And
That oil was burning.
Wouldn't it have been great if the Steelers played tonight with the snow flying?
Yeah.
Okay, and the wet and the mud.
Oh,
would that
at
have
Heinz
been- that would have
Field,
been- oh, that
which
would have
is
been great.
notorious. No fault of the Roonies, of course, but they wanted a grass field, and it's some type of combination. But they've had troubles every year there. They
But-
need Chip to go out and check the field out. That's what they need.
I'll make that stuff grow when it's 0.
My man.
All right. Well, thank you, Chip. I almost forgot what's on my mind. I'm watching a torch being passed on Monday Night Football. Mahomes, Brady. And I was watching both quarterbacks because I got no money on either team.
I mean Sunday night.
Sunday night, yeah. Sorry. I got ahead of myself. I got so lost with that conversation that Smoke and Jim started out. I had to check all the facts that are in my brain that I've seen, and none of them correlated, I mean none, with what he said. And I stand by that. None. Except the pumpkin pie. I care about him, so I have that. And he won't stop by, but that's all right. But I'm watching the Sunday night game, and I'm watching Mahomes looks great, made some great plays, passes. I'm looking at Brady. They're talking about he can't throw a long ball. Here he threw a long ball or two. Then I'm watching Brady throw a couple interceptions. Then I'm watching him throw balls over people's heads, away from people. And I go, this isn't the Tom Brady of 5 years ago or 3 years ago. This is the Tom Brady now at 43 with a coach that wants to do everything his way and try to limit Brady a little bit. I would just use what Brady has left. And whether they can make it work, fine. But you need a running back and a running game, too, to help him out. So Brady could still play, and he's probably better than half of the quarterbacks that play in the league. But he's not the same GOAT that we're used to. And I mentioned this last week. And again, they put it on national TV, so it's for everybody to see. And I see there's some change in how he plays the game.
No, to speak to your point, more than once, my dear friend to my left has talked about Bruce Arians being the genius.
Yes,
Oh,
it
yeah,
is.
more than once.
Well, let me tell you something. When it comes down to it, which of those two has 6 championship rings? Okay, and the only rings that Arians has, one was given to him by Bill Cowher, the other one was given to
The
him
legend
by Mike
Bill
Tomlin. Okay, so the two Hall of Fame coaches
Yeah,
helped him win his championship rings.
right.
How many has he won on his own? Maybe he should quit being such a hardhead and trying to change the way Tom Brady does things. He has won a few games on his own.
Bruce Arians and Tom Brady both got rings, but Bruce Arians is a 2-time NFL head coach of the year, and that separates him from everybody.
How many championships is he
That means he can
responsible
coach.
for as a head coach? How many championships?
2021.
Crickets?
2021, he'll win it all.
Crickets.
They're getting better.
Smoking Jim,
Crickets.
you were on the bandwagon with Brady beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And that bandwagon, a lot of people jumped off with good reason.
Take into account, Brady has thrown, I think, between 28 and 30 touchdown passes already this season.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
That
so
ain't
I
bad.
mean,
He
you
only
know,
threw 25 last year or something, or
you know,
24.
but I mean, you know, here's the problem with Arians' offense. You know, they said, you know, if you don't risk it, you get no biscuit.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's got a high risk offense, and you know, and one thing that has been true, even when Ben was a young man, Arians' quarterbacks get beat up. They, you know, I mean, they just simply do.
Sure.
His offense, you know, puts a quarterback more at risk. Brady's not going to be able to take all the shots that he keeps getting.
Well, look at how he's a little jumpy before they're even near him.
That's because
When he sees the
he hears
350
footsteps.
pounders coming up in the corner of
I'd like to
his
see him
eye.
get about 40 touchdowns this year. That'd be nice. I didn't know he had that many. That ain't bad. I like to see him
Well,
get
you
about
miss it.
40.
He's also racking up interceptions,
Only
too.
11. Only 11.
What did he have last year? Less than that.
I like it. If you throw more touchdowns than interceptions, it's a good year in my book.
Well, you should like baseball because the more you strike out and the more home runs you get,
I like
that makes you a good player.
I like that.
Even though you love the greatest single hitter that'll never get in the Hall of Fame, Pete Rose.
I also like Mark McGuire.
Understand.
Yeah.
And you know what Mark
Another
McGuire
juicer.
says? Mark McGuire says that he doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, you guys beat him down so much.
No, he admitted that
Yeah,
he cheated. And
He just
admitted,
saved the game of baseball. Mark
He
McGuire
admitted-
saved the game of
he
baseball. Now everybody wants to
admitted
stab
that
him
he
in the
cheated.
back.
He admitted he cheated, and he said it was the wrong thing to do. And he doesn't feel that he's worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. I tell you what,
I give him credit.
I tip my hat to him for being honest.
You fans are fickle.
No, he's an honest
Everybody
man.
loved Antonio Brown when he was here breaking records. Now everybody hates him. Come
Well,
on, man.
he hated
Mark
everybody
McGuire-
Now
else.
he's breaking. Now he's breaking security cameras.
What has
Always-
changed?
And you know it. You can back me up. I always said the one guy I would pay to go see was Mark McGuire play baseball.
Right now.
I mean, when he was a prime, he saved the game. The game was dead.
You weren't watching baseball then. You've only read
I'm
about
at Three
it.
River Stadium.
You only read about
I'm
it.
at Three River Stadium. They've never done this before.
Who went there with you?
I'm sitting there.
With who?
He hit a
With who?
He hit a 69th home run, and they showed it on the big screen. He come back up. I thought they was showing the replay. They've never done this before. When he hit a 70, they showed it at Three River Stadium.
So where did he hit? What stadium was he playing
I
in?
don't know.
When he hit
I
the
was
home
at
run,
the game.
and
You
where,
weren't
It
at
was
the
a
game.
Sunday, I
and
can
where,
tell you that.
And where was the home run hit to?
It was a Sunday because they showed it on the big screen at Three Rivers.
Was it a monster fly ball? Was it a line drive? What was it?
I can't remember, but both of them looked the same. It was right in his wheelhouse, brother. I love him.
They were playing at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. He hit a line drive home run to left field.
We cheered. We all cheered. My whole row was, other than my dad, my whole
Let me
row
tell you
was
something.
white. We was high-fiving, brother.
Let me tell you what. I sat next to him at a baseball game for 3 innings. There wasn't anybody else in that row.
And for all of you fans out there that go to games, when you go to high school games, grade school games, pro games, don't you know who you went to the game with? Or like my dad would go to high school basketball games by himself, and he'd know 20 people because they'd all yell out, hey, Tippy, sit with me.
Yeah.
Now, who said that to you? Hey, Smokin', sit with me if you went by yourself. But for some unknown reason, you can't tell me one person or one coach that was ever at any game with you.
And a baseball, football.
I'm going baseball because
Well,
you've lied
yes.
about it for
Baseball.
years.
Yes.
Baseball, I think the last game I ever went to, other than when Chip got, was when Roberto hit his 3,000 hit.
We know that's not true.
So wait a minute. If that is true,
I was there.
Roberto got his 3,000th hit on September 30th, 1972.
Yeah.
Okay, so when Mark McGuire was doing his thing was in 1998. So if you haven't been to a baseball game since '72, how could you have been in Three Rivers Stadium and see Mark McGwire hit his home
I
run?
was at a Steeler game.
No.
They showed it on the big screen at the Steeler game. That's what I'm saying. They've never did that before. A Steeler game, they showed a highlight of Mark McGwire. That's how great he was. I'm at the Steeler game in Three Rivers Stadium, and when he hit his 69th home run, they stopped the game to show it on the replay. And then when he hit his 70th, I thought it was showing an instant replay. And the 60th, they stopped the game. They said, Frank Pollard, stop right there after 4 yards, like you always do. We got to show Mark McGwire.
But let me hold back another fact I know, that he never knew baseball until he got on Pittsburgh Sportsline.
Even though I played it.
Even though he says he played it, he doesn't know one player on his team.
Anything he knows
was a
about
pitcher.
baseball, he learned from me.
And
I
me.
learned a lot. I learned a lot from you.
Definitely. And Anthony, Tony from Chick-fil-A wants to let you know, disclaimer, white guys do wear masks. And that's from Chick-fil-A, who's blowing it out. They don't want to even open up their dining area because their business
Monroeville
is up.
packed.
It's
Monroeville's
double
so
lane,
good.
everything. All around, they got outside booths for weather like this.
Yeah.
So shout out to Tony and all those people keeping me and my son and our number 7 breakfast meal, chicken, egg, cheese, and bagel every
This
couple
week
days.
their special is a 6-pound turkey at Chick-fil-A.
Hey, my 7-pound turkey, you saw it. It worked out very well. My son and I even had a little bit of leftovers the next day. So that was it. Some people were arguing that it was just breast meat. I said it said on a young white turkey, and then it said just breast meat, no legs and wings.
Al Levine bought a turkey that died before they could kill it.
No, it was a young turkey. And it was delicious, buddy. That's all I could say. All right, we're going to come back. I can't believe how far we went with this, but we got some fiction and fact with Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine, Chip Hayner, my main man, Connor, my favorite soccer player. Did you hear about the young lady for Vanderbilt that kicked?
Yeah, I saw
Yes.
that.
Yeah, she got it.
We had
nice
Smoking Jim.
build
We had a
on her.
lady kicker on our Pittsburgh
Yeah,
Grove
Sportsline
City,
show.
Grove City.
And
went
more
to Grove
importantly,
City.
Yeah.
the position coach, the tight ends coach for the Cleveland Browns on Sunday was a woman. The first time ever in NFL history, a woman was a position coach for the game.
She
Wow.
just felt like because of COVID. She got that because of COVID. But there will be more
How
women.
can you blame everything on
No, 'cause
COVID
it-
except people dying?
Because the coach
People are dying because it, and you
coach.
don't believe it.
That's why Denver should have been allowed to let their coach play quarterback. But that's another story. And my favorite fullback, Nick, is in the house. And on the 1s and 2s, my main man, Anthony, not a hair out of place, making us look good. But here's the fiction of, I'm going real fast because we're running out of time.
No, we got
We
time
wanna
for
hear
you.
from Chip.
No, we got time for you.
I'm watching the Arizona Cardinals,
Okay.
and they got a 5'2" quarterback that's pretty good, Kyler Murray. He's
No,
outstanding.
he was documented 5'10".
Never is he that tall?
Yeah.
did he have Frenchie Fuqua's heels on with the fish in it when he?
Two fish, yeah.
But he's a short guy, but he can throw. Never lost a game in high school. Heisman Trophy winner, outstanding. Got a great arm. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He can run. He's fast.
He can run, but I like a guy that's a little bit more vocal leader. He's
quiet.
I want my quarterback to be a little bit more vocal. But anywho, they got a patch on their uniforms, number 8. And I'm thinking to myself, there's only one 8 that ever played for the Cardinals,
Larry Wilson.
Larry Wilson. So I look it up, and Larry Wilson died, 82 years old, about 6 months ago. It never made the newspaper.
One of the
that I
best
know.
safeties to ever play the game.
Man, did I see him play? Now he had 2 broken. He played with a cast on both hands,
Yeah.
and he played against the Steelers. One of the games he played against the Steelers, but that was in New Orleans. But I seen him play at the old Pitt Stadium, number 8. I tell you what, I always was one of my idols. Like, he would hit anybody. I've seen him knock people out over the middle, and I've seen him get knocked out over in the middle. Fearless, played the game the way it should be played.
Right.
I don't know if he could play today because he was a
throw
guy
a flag.
that would take you out, and nowadays they throw you out of the game. for being too physical. But they retired his number, which I didn't know. It might be the only number retired in New Orleans. Maybe Peyton Manning's dad, Archie Manning, might be retired. But one of my heroes, Larry Wilson, and he did a lot of stuff. He was a general manager and the president of the Cardinals, which I didn't know all that.
Yeah.
But on the field, and Chip and Al Levine, the talking machine, I know you guys remember. And I seen him live at Pitt Stadium.
I've seen him
Larry
play.
Wilson,
I've seen him play.
one of
Yeah.
the all-time
You know who else
greats.
recently passed away? Another great safety from the 72 Dolphins, Jake Scott.
Don't say that.
What
Don't
a
say
player.
that.
What a player he
Don't
was.
say that. Not Jake.
Yeah.
He passed away just recently as well.
And you agree with me, the greatest team of all time, 72 Dolphins. And that's what's on my mind.
For right now, yes.
We agree.
Because they ended up undefeated and won the championship.
Yeah.
See, if you don't win the championship at the end, doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. Greatest team of all
Great
time.
point. Yeah, I agree with you. Make it a threesome on
And
that.
I seen them in 72 playing in the championship game against the Steelers. They had to travel for the play.
I just got to ask
home field advantage.
if there's any
Wasn't no home
witnesses,
field
if there's
advantage.
any witnesses that ever saw Smoking Jim anywhere besides his house in Monroeville, which
a
I
lot of
don't.
people know me as Jimmy.
I found that out by the superintendent of Bethel Park High School. He said, "Little Jimmy." I said, "Are we talking about the same guy?" He goes, "Describe him." I go, "I can't." Because he ain't no little Jimmy. But I said he ate over at your house and knew your dad and family. He goes, "Oh, little Jimmy Frazier." He goes, "He was an Urkel-looking kid." Sorry. Thank you, Smoking Jim. We're going to move on to Chip.
Good evening, folks. And we've had this nonsensical talk about people that certain members of our panel feel deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, that should never be in the Hall of Fame and never will be in the Hall of Fame. Well, I'd like to talk about somebody that I do feel that is well deserving of being in the Hall of Fame, and I think it's a travesty that he has not been in the Hall of Fame yet. And that would be the person that I think is the greatest manager in Pittsburgh Pirate history, at least in my lifetime.
Wow, I know who it is.
No other than Daniel Edward Murtaugh. He was born October 8th, 1917. He died December 2nd, 1976. He was a second baseman, manager, front office executive, and coach in Major League Baseball. Murtaugh is best known for his 29-year association with the Pittsburgh Pirates, where he won 2 World Series as a field manager in 1960 and 1971. He also played 416 of his 767 career Major League Baseball games with the Pirates as a second baseman. Some of his statistics, which we'll go through this rather quickly because we spent a lot of time off track, and we do have a little segment at the end here that Alan wants to go over.
Yeah. Oh, no, that'll be after our show.
Okay.
Yeah, so
But
we do have some time.
his
Go
Major
ahead.
League debut was July 3rd, 1941 for the Philadelphia Phillies. His last Major League appearance was on my birthday, 9 years before I was born, September 6, 1951 for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Wow.
His career batting average was .254. He hit 8 home runs. He had 219 runs batted in. But where he became a Hall of Famer was with his managerial record. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, he won 1,115 games and lost 950. That means he had a winning percentage of .540. He was, as a manager for the Pirates, he managed the Pirates from 1957 to 1964, 1967, 1970 to 71, and from 73 to 76. As a coach of the Pirates, he was a coach of the Pirates from 1956 to 1957. He was a 2-time World Series champion. And a little-known fact about Danny Murtaugh, he was the National League stolen base leader in 1941.
You're kidding me.
And the Pittsburgh Pirates have retired his number. Number 40 will never be worn by another player for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Don't want to get too much into his playing career. After retiring as a player, he managed the New Orleans Pelicans from 1952 to 1954. That was the Pirates' Double-A farm club. And an unaffiliated Triple-A Charleston Senators from April 19th through July 16th, 1955. In 1956, he returned to the Pirates as a coach under Bobby Bragan. He succeeded Bragan as skipper with the Bucks 36 and 67, and one game out of last place. Under Murtaugh, they perked up to win 26 of their final 51 games. In his first full season, 1958, Murtaugh led the Pirates to a surprise second-place finish in the National League. He went on to hold the Pittsburgh job for all or parts of 15 seasons over 4 different terms. In his third full season as manager, he guided the Bucks to the first of 2 World Series champions. The improbable Pirates
beating the Yankees.
Beating the powerhouse Yankees. That was a team that could boast Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris in their primes.
Yeah.
Yogi Berra, Tony Kubek at shortstop.
Sure.
Whitey Ford on the mound.
That's right, Whitey was there. That's right.
Yeah, he was.
Chairman of the board. But, I do believe that it's a travesty that Danny Murtaugh has not been elected into the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. I think a push should be made to get him enshrined. He's somebody that's well worthy of it. Yes, he's been gone for close to 50 years, but in my lifetime, there's never been a better manager for the Pirates. What are your thoughts?
Hey, Chip, I got to co-sign that with you. You never had to worry about the team with Murtaugh. He never lost the team, always had them ready to play, didn't always have the best players, but he worked everything he could out of those players. He was just very savvy with relief pitching, with regular pitching, situational games with hitters. You can see the strategy.
I remember one night we were interviewing Al Oliver on the telephone.
Yeah.
Okay. And
About the
I asked to interrupt, and you let me ask him a question, and I asked him. I said, "What was it, in your opinion, that you felt made Danny Murtaugh such a great manager?" And I could tell that I took him by surprise. He wasn't expecting that. And his honest answer was that he knew how to get the best out of each and every one of his players.
I remember that.
And as a matter of fact, Danny Murtaugh is also the manager that started the first all-black lineup in Major League Baseball history in September of 1971.
Right.
He was groundbreaking, but he was able to get the best out of any group of players. And then, of course, having Roberto Clemente in your hip pocket certainly didn't hurt.
No, not at all. And that's what I remember, like I was saying, that he got the best out of his players, everything that they had to give.
But that's out of somebody that played for the man, Al Oliver. And Al Oliver,
he should be in the Hall of Fame, too.
Every bit of it. And if you look at his statistics, and people cry and say Dave Parker should be in, Al Oliver's statistics are better than Dave Parker's were.
The only thing, I lean a little bit towards Dave Parker because for about 4 or 5 years, he was the best in baseball. And I can't take that away from him. I would have liked to see it longer, and then he got involved with the drugs. That took away, that tarnished.
But I think the difference between him and Al Oliver is that Parker had 5 really good years, probably better than anybody else. Al Oliver had a more consistent career over 18 seasons. No matter where he went,
he was a good hitter.
Productive.
He was a good hitter no matter where he was, and that's what he lived and died by.
I saw something on Facebook. Just one last thing, another former Pirate from the past, 79 World Series champ Mike Easler.
Yeah,
they called him the Hitman.
Yeah,
he just turned 72 years old. And somebody said if you would look at him right now, he could probably roll out of bed and go 3 for 5 today.
Wow, what a statement. Smoking, what kind of controversy are you going to bring up?
I agree with Chip.
You don't even know.
Danny Murtaugh should be in the Hall of Fame, just starting an all-black lineup. That was outstanding. But I didn't hear what you said again. How many home runs did he have?
8. He had 8 home runs in his career.
8 home runs, okay.
And it's funny because the best managers in baseball really weren't very good players in their careers. Tommy Lasorda is another one.
Yeah.
Had a very,
average,
forgettable career.
Yeah.
But as a manager, he found his niche.
If you choke up on the bat, you ain't gonna get much power.
I don't know. You should follow Ty Cobb with what he did. He was choking up on the bat all the time. And he said the best natural hitter he ever saw was one of my favorites, Shoeless Joe Jackson.
He should be in the Hall of Fame.
No question. But he got banned for life being involved in gambling.
Because
Because
a
he
guy,
couldn't read and write.
well,
Couldn't read and
no, Judge Landis, which was a guy like you, it was his opinion goes no matter what, just like why Curtis Martin isn't in the
He'll never
Hall
get
of
in.
Fame,
He'll
in the
never
City
get
League
in.
Hall of Fame.
Because I'm on the committee.
And
He'll
people
never
are
get
upset
in.
about it.
Yeah.
You're like Judge Landis for Hall of Fame.
How about Big Cat?
He fought against Gateway. He beat up some Gateway guys when they played, man. He'll never get in, bro. You gotta pay the price.
All right, well, thanks to Chip, let me get to my, on location if it's possible. I almost forgot where we're at. We've gone so far off the track. Let's do it. On location, nothing is happening. Just check out my last Master Zhang Taekwondo in Wexford. It's a great show, great activity from the beginning with a ring of fire and a great UMC truck and breaking boards like crazy over heads. So check it out, even the 10 board, 1 foot thick, break by Master Zhang. So check that out. We're looking for locations and potential stuff, so we'll keep our eyes and ears open. We just want you to stay safe and healthy. And please come back for some Steeler talk. Wait till you hear this story. Steeler talk. How many times can a game get postponed because the other team has COVID raging out of control? They did it just long enough to get their running backs back. It'll be Wednesday afternoon at 3:40 p.m. Just so you know, I'm a big sports fan, but I believe a lot of sports has been manipulated for many different reasons, one way or the other. You can do research on it. I'm not a purist on how pure the game is. Too many rules and things have changed. Too many other ulterior motives are out there. Like there's a philosophy Smoking Jim holds: if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Me, I grew up in a house where my dad was a referee. If you aren't playing by the rules, you aren't playing. So I go by that. We got a game tomorrow afternoon. Make sure you're home from work 3:40 in the afternoon. I have to ask, how do you even pick a time like 3:40? Why not 4 o'clock? So if you know, let me know.
Okay, here's what the deal is. This all has to do with television and the revenues because
Understand the money.
The television is the one that's forking out the money to the NFL.
Yes.
They are lighting the Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center.
I heard that. That's what I wanted to hear.
In
New
prime
York.
time tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And they did not want this football game to run into that, so they're starting it early enough so that if it does go to the extra
Overtime,
period,
yeah.
that it will be done in time for them to have their holiday special.
I had heard
on.
that, but I never really looked
Might
into
be
it.
the Heidi Bowl because in overtime they're cutting the Rockefeller Center. Huh?
No, they won't because the game will be over because there's only 10-minute overtime.
Yeah.
You know, I believe that really overtime should be sudden death overtime.
Yeah.
That would put more of an emphasis on winning the game in regulation instead of playing for the tie.
Yeah.
I like ties.
Not for a guy like you. I cannot even believe that statement came out of
But
your mouth.
so the Steelers are going to play tomorrow night. I think the Steelers are going to come out with a bad attitude, and I personally think that the Ravens are going to be knocked out of the playoffs tomorrow night. They'll end up being 6-5, and they'll be 5 games behind the Steelers, and the Cleveland Browns, believe it or not, at 8-3, may have a shot at a wild card spot.
Smoking Jim was only off by 1 year.
Well, and it's amazing that Cleveland can even be there because, Baker Mayfield is not a franchise quarterback.
Thank you.
What?
Thank you.
Absolutely not.
Thanks for co-signing what I've been telling him. Yes.
He has the best quarterback rating than any quarterback in the AFC North.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah. He even hit a bin.
I don't think.
Prove it.
I heard that today.
Okay, yeah. No, once again, an accusation with no proof. Where have we heard this story before?
Never mind. We're not talking politics. No politics on this show. We'll just ignore that. Smoking Jim, what do you think about the Steelers then? Another win?
Well, I think the Steelers got the easiest schedule, man.
Still.
So if they ain't getting a rookie quarterback, if they ain't getting somebody
quarterback
that was stocking shelves at Shop and Save last week, you know what I mean? They're getting a team that don't have any of their starters going to play. They can't travel. They're coming in here. And the Pittsburgh Steelers had all this rest, almost like a bye week. And I'm putting money, like Chip said, on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Give me some money, I'll flip it for you.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, elevating the talking machine, this is a dream season.
Yeah.
Because the one thing the Pittsburgh Steelers can't stop is the pass.
Yeah.
And they've yet to play a team that got a top 20 passing attack.
Yeah.
And when they find that out in the playoffs, they could be one and done. But right now, I'm enjoying the ride.
I'm glad you finally are enjoying it because a couple weeks ago you weren't.
Yeah, I'm enjoying
You were very
it.
critical. I'm glad I convinced you. Instead of picking apart how bad they're doing on third down and they don't have a running game and Big Ben's throwing the ball all over the place, doing well, just enjoy the wins. Isn't it great distraction?
And next week, they get a team that don't even have a nickname. Washington is so bad, they got a quarterback that's this guy's just out of the wheelchair.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago.
They thought he'd never be back.
They thought he'd never be back.
But here's the thing I find interesting. You know, you criticize the Steelers for the schedule that they're playing. Of course, the Steelers had nothing to do with picking their schedule.
Right. True.
Okay, and last I checked, the Steelers are playing 16 games against professional NFL football teams.
Yes.
So they're playing the best of the best. Now, all they can do is play the team that lines up against them every week. You can't criticize them for being 10-0.
Guess where I get it from? I got it from you all the years you criticized New England for not playing anybody in their division. Now you're switching up because you got the terrible towel on your nose.
You're fabricating something here.
They play Miami. They play this. They
well,
play
yeah,
Buffalo.
That's
all these
that's
teams.
why they won 15 division titles in a row.
There you go. Now the Steelers, now you're flipping because you got the black and gold on. But that's okay. You're a fan.
Smoking Jim, you're all over
I get it from Chip.
And telling me you believe in ties, that's so anti-Smoking Jim. People know you wouldn't even shake somebody's hand after you won. True. So you can't even say, you just misspoke a little because you've been pretty excited to get into the snow country compared to the sunny, I think it's still sunny in Monroeville. What time is it?
I feel like I'm in
like 7:57. I think the sun's still out in Monroeville. Oh, sorry. Maybe I misspoke. I got a little excited. Well, I think the Steelers have a chance to go undefeated this year because they're doing something unusual. They're winning games against the level of competition when it's worse than them. And how many years have we talked about they lose those games? So they're winning them this year. I enjoy it. I'm enjoying the game. When they have to run, look, they ran over 100 yards the last game. So they can do it again.
So I'll get a chance to see the fourth quarter tomorrow.
Good.
You got to work?
Yeah.
Gotta pay the bills, buddy.
I'm taking off.
You know what? Yeah, I got to pay the bills because
Smoking Jim, I got one question. What are you even?
I'm taking off.
What are you even doing that you have to take off?
Hey, if I had to rely on Macaroni Tony to pay my mortgage, I'd be living on the street.
I don't know. I think he's collecting money from his girls. That's what I think. I want an investigation. I might hire a private eye to spy on Smoking Jim so we can find out what he's really doing every day. Because I don't know. Sometimes I text him, instantaneous, he gets back to me. Other times, 8 hours later, he gets back to me. Where could he be? The man of mystery. 9 years, I don't have a clue. That's my best friend, and I have no clue. And that's why I bought him pumpkin pie to try at the Levine house.
Yes.
Right after this show, I'll take you out of your way to New Ken for 5 minutes, all right? But, that's what we have. Hopefully we entertained you during these troubling times where we all have to quarantine. We're trying to be entertaining. Smoking Jim took that and ran with that ball to be even more entertaining. And you got to check his statements and history out because I don't know anybody that's seen him at Three Rivers Stadium personally. So I'm looking forward to that. And thanks, Chip, for all your insights.
Hey, next time you see us, 12-0.
Yes, we have the Washington football team game coming up next Monday. So they delayed it a day to get us healthy between games. So we got that to look forward to. Thanks for watching the show. Thanks for all the help from Connor, Nick, Anthony. They've done a great job. Look at those commercials they put up. Look at the camera work and audio we have. We've done great. We're thankful to Bethel Park having us do our shows every week for you to entertain you, and we'll be back again next week. And I just want everybody to stay Joey strong.